most things in a family are generational, so addiction is usually generational. If we are to question our clients, which we do, we usually find that their parents were both, addicted, that maybe even their grandparents were, we really, so things like that are generational. I think that's really important to know. That's just an example of one thing, because then you really know where that person is coming from and how difficult it is for them to make the changes, because that's all they've ever known. That's how they know how to live their life, because that's how their grandparents and their parents have lived their life, as an example. So that's one example, I think.
There's, I think, in Appalachian culture, often a sense of passivity with healthcare providers, so that they feel it's important and polite to pay lip service to whatever the provider is telling them to do, but they may not have any intention of actually following through with it. And Kristen had a client who would go so far as to wink at her in the room with the provider.
Right, that's right. I forgot about that. That's right.
But she had no intention of following what the provider was telling her to do. She would say yes to the provider and wink at me on the side.
Like, and you knew, though.
Yeah,
knew
I
exactly
know.
that she wasn't going to follow.
And then a lot of clients won't go against their own mother's or grandmother's wishes. So if the client wants a Nexplanon for birth control, and her mother or grandmother says, "You're not putting anything in your body, that's terrible," or whatever, it could migrate somewhere else, then they won't get it. And they may well see us the year after pregnant. But I think acquiescing to the needs of, to the wishes of whoever they live with is also pretty common. And several generations living in the same housing, low-income housing in particular, makes that independence come a little slower and a little less solid than it would be if they were able to live comfortably in their own home and start establishing their own way of doing things.
Breastfeeding, I think, is another example, which we find a lot of our clients, they say they want to breastfeed, but really what they mean is they want to pump and give the baby the pumped breast milk.
Because breastfeeding is gross.
Breastfeeding
or grandma says that if you're getting Suboxone or Subutex, you're giving the baby opiates. It's just like giving the baby heroin. So that's
family has a huge impact on our Appalachian clients.